popularity of television in the 80s sparked advertisement through commercials. Some of the most famous clips included Wendy's commercials.
Where's the beef?
Some hamburger places give you a lot less beef on a lot of bun.
Apple also released their commercial that draws an inspiration from George Orwell's 1984, with the hammer representing the Mac and Big Brother as IBM, convincing the public that Macintosh would change the idea of the perceived 1984.
Apple managed to make an innovative, movie-like ad that changed the game forever.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
With companies raving for commercial opportunities, a war spawned between Coke and Pepsi, called the Cola War.
Want to try a cherry Coke?
Outrageous. I gotta take this idea into the 80s.
Cherry Coke, it's the one and only. Cherry Coca-Cola. Outrageously smooth, outrageously light.
And now to the year 2000.
Cherry makes it wild, Coca-Cola makes it right.
I have Coke.
Sure, stranger, which one?
Just Coke.
Oh, there's lots of them. You see, the old Coke is the old Coke before it became your new Coke. The new Coke is the one that used to be your old Coke, which became your new improved Coke. Except for your classic Coke, which is really the old Coke, but not at your new Coke. You know what I mean?
Just give me the one you like best.
That's easy.
Pepsi.
Now more than ever, Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
Let it have.
The 1980s became known as the blockbuster age for all the movies that were produced. Movies would make hundreds of millions of dollars through box offices, which caused many people to want to study and work in the film industry. Movies became rentable, so many people could watch them at home. Movie producers began to target teenage crowds in the 1980s.
80s, there were 5 main kinds of movies: sci-fi, family, adventure, drama, and comedy. The Little Mermaid, Batman, Ghostbusters, Scarface, Back to the Future, Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, Raging Bull, Pretty in Pink, and Nightmare on Elm Street. Innovations in computer graphic imaging technology encourage filmmakers to take risks and present fantastic new virtual worlds, such as in E.T. with the creation of the alien E.T. The Breakfast Club shows the old school versus new school conflict, which is still around today as there are generation gap between the youth and adults.
As television gained popularity in the 80s, there were 3 main channels: ABC, CBS, and NBC. By the end of the 80s, over 80% of families had TVs in their homes. Many of the shows started trends in fashion and hairstyles. The most common TV shows were sitcoms in the 1980s. Full House was a sitcom about the Tanner family living in San Francisco, California. With the loss of Danny's wife, he invites his best friend, Joey, and his brother-in-law, Jesse, to move into his home and help him raise his 3 daughters, DJ, Stephanie, and Michelle. The show was created in 1987 by Jeff Franklin for ABC. Bob Saget and the Mary-Kate and Ashley twins became well known from the show. MTV was the first channel to broadcast music from famous artists such as Prince, Madonna, and Michael Jackson. This appealed to teenagers across the nation. They featured live concerts, performances, and as well as events for artists. They famously broke the color barrier from 1981 to 83 because the channel mainly focused on white musicians and very few African Americans. The show Family Matters was a spin-off of the TV show Perfect Strangers and was about a middle-class African-American family living in Chicago, Illinois. This lighthearted sitcom starred the Winsler family and their nerdy neighbor Urkel. The show focused on family life and was geared towards young children and adolescents. 21 Jump Street came on air in 1987 and lasted for 5 seasons. It starred Pete Louise, Stephen Williams, and most notably Johnny Depp. This show was about a squad of police officers who specialized in cases relating to teenagers. It also influenced the movie 21 Jump Street, which came out in 2012, starring Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill.